statement. Very nice statement. Thank you.
Yes, very
I like
dapper.
that. So you don't pop your peas when you're talking to it.
How exciting is it to be back for season 2? Did you expect a renewal?
Well, you want it, you need it, that's the idea, that's the goal. So yeah, we're good, we're very gratified. Stars has been a very, very good partner. We've all had a lot of crappy partners over the years, and Stars is not one of them.
Is it a thrill to introduce this story to a whole new generation that really loves it?
Yeah, and to reintroduce it to the old generation, you old people out here. To do both, service the old clients and bring in some of the new clients.
How is it physically?
Hard.
These years later?
Hard. I pulled my hamstring this year. I got the tear to prove it. That's just very physical shit. I do more than the average actor, so it's just now that I'm 58, you sort of pay the price. I don't heal as quick. I stretch more.
Last year, before the premiere of season 1, I was on a conference call with you, and so many of the things that you said about the show, its pace, its faithfulness to the source material, and all that is exactly as you.
Did you think I was lying?
No, but you know how it goes. Sometimes it's always selling you're selling the project you're on,
sure.
right? But everything.
I just happen to believe when I'm
that's
selling.
okay. Everything was the truth.
Yeah.
And
I speak the truth.
So what can you tell us that's truth about
season 2 sucks. Season 2 is more ambitious. It's partially human nature to go, let's give them something bigger and better. So it's more action. Season 2, holy fucking shit. It's season 2 wore us all out. It wore us all out. I started drinking coffee this year. I haven't had a cup of coffee in 30 years. Last 2 weeks of shooting, I'm like, give me a goddamn cup of coffee. And I had that coffee, I went, give me another one. So every morning, it's like a cup of coffee, and then after lunch. This show has got me back on the coffee. So it's a very ambitious season, some new directors, some new writers. We're excited because I feel, and this is just the same old horseshit, it's a better season than season 1. We already got the job. We know what we're doing. We know the other actors. We know the directors. We know the lay of the land. It's more comfortable. Now you just go do it.
What's it like having Lee on set too?
Lee's great. Lee's what you would hope he would be. You hope he would be, a gentleman and very professional and very good. He's all of that because he's done too many hours of television to be crazy. You don't work that much if you're crazy. You work that much if you're a journeyman working actor who's very professional. We like to ad lib, so he grabbed me one day. He goes, "Look, I memorized my lines. See, so if you guys go changing your lines, you got to tell me. I don't want any surprises." And then we're like, "Okay." So we keep him posted. No surprises for Lee.
So, how excited are you to explore so many various sides of Ash?
I'm really excited. That's what TV is best at. You can crack that character open and look into his brain for years. And we hope to do that. That'd be fun. Somebody asked me if I'm tired of playing Ash. I'm like, hell no. We're just starting. This story is just beginning. And lest we forget, there is a Joseph Campbell aspect to this story. He is foretold in an ancient book. It's not some random bullshit. This loser guy from Michigan has to save the world. There is something to all this. The trick is, what is it? What is Ash's real story? What is his real power? Who is he really? Maybe he's not even the guy that we think he is. Put that in your microphone.
Now, you're not shooting Michigan for Michigan, though,
No.
right?
No, New Zealand. We go to the Southern Hemisphere to recreate Michigan.
How do you like that?
Well, this is my 4th TV show in New Zealand, so I'm not surprised. It didn't surprise me that we're shooting here. Rob Tappert has adult kids in New Zealand now. You think he's going anywhere? He's married to Lucy Lawless. Forget it. No, it's a great place to work. Very, very trained, technical crew. These guys go back to Avatar, Herc, Xena, Lord of the Rings, Spartacus. These guys can do anything down there. So people are like, why New Zealand? I'm like, have you seen the shows that have come out of New Zealand? Avatar. If it's good enough for James Cameron, it's good enough for me.
So how do you balance?
Season 1, you mentioned a lot about what's your opinion on script and your influence in season 2. How do you feel like when you get the script ahead of time? Is there moments where you really gone too far or they're holding back?
I let the writers do what they do. Yeah, just act, and if I don't like it, I change it. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. We don't have to make phone calls to get approvals. I've been on shows where you want to change one word, you got to make a phone call. That's for idiots. I'll never get on a show like that ever again. Because I'm not interested in that. I'm part of the process. Actors are part of the process. We have to say your fucking words. They better be good. We have a friendly rivalry with the writers. Write good words, or I'm not going to say them.
How's that work on a show like this one, where each, on a pretty consistent basis, has different directors and different writers? Is that
We're
challenging,
consistent.
or is that exciting?
It's challenging until you get to know that director. Like some directors I've worked with in the last 2 seasons, we already knew him. Rick Jacobson is one of our main directors. He goes back to Hurd and Lee Majors. So I've known him inside and out, so that's no problem. Other guys, you go, dude, what's your deal? And they'll never come back because they're just not right for the show. It's not right for everybody. This is a very difficult show to do. It's very technical. It has stunts, it has effects, and it's supposed to be funny on top of it. Not many directors. There's some directors who can do action, but they couldn't land a joke or stage a joke to save their life. Other guys are really funny, but the horror scenes suck. So you try and get a talented individual who can do it all. And it's tough to find. What? When you say they let you, I am they on this show. I am they. I let myself, yes. But again, I'll do it if it's appropriate. I'm not doing it out of disrespect or spite to the writers, but they have been warned. Be good or you're not going to be used.
How do you, as a performer, balance the broad slapstick with some of the more serious scenes in the show?
If it's a serious scene, you go for it, and if it's not, you go for it. You have to invest in it regardless of what it is, and let the tone work itself out.
How do you feel bringing the show like this to Comic-Con?
To Comic-Con, this is a great old. This is like coming home. This is the salmon spawning. I've been coming to Comic-Con since 1988. This doesn't creep me out at all. These are my clients. These people.
So why do you feel so many people relate to Ash?
Because he has no appreciable skills. Because you don't feel like he's any better than you. I'm sure there's guys watching it going, "What a fucking idiot! My God, I could do that!" Rather than, "Oh, he's so unattainable." That's why superheroes leave me flat. There's no chinks in the armor, except kryptonite. Whatever. I don't know. The superheroes are too perfect, even though they're trying desperately to make them not so perfect. Spider-Man made sense to me because it's just a guy from Queens, New York, who gets bitten by a radioactive spider. As ridiculous as that is. Everyone talks about B movies. Do you realize all the A movies are B movies? If you're bitten by a radioactive spider and you turn into a spider, it's not only a B movie, that's a 1950s B movie. If you dress up like a bat and fly around a city called Gotham, I don't know about you, but that's a B movie to me. It's as cheesy as you're going to get. I don't care if it's Ben Affleck or not. You're still wearing a goddamn bat suit. I'm embarrassed for all those guys.
Could you see Ash being like a Mortal Kombat kind of thing, like leading in the future?
Ash is just going to be Ash. He's just going to do his own thing. He doesn't need to go into other universes.
This is last question.
Last call.
Do you think your show has the same nostalgia factor as other franchises that started in the early 80s?
It might have some. We were never a huge hit. We were always a cult, sort of low-grade pulsing of a following. So I think it's just nostalgic for the same amount of people, and hopefully new people go, "Oh, that was my dad's favorite show. I'll watch it." We'll see what happens.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Have
so
a good afternoon.
much.
Following this Lawless. Table to table.
religion or occult practice?
Not a one. Not a one.
With all the different characters that you played, you know, everything from robots to warrior princesses, also being a millennial demon or entity. How is that a big change up for you?
The difference in this one is that she's so shifty. I think, and I find this in old cultures that go really deep. For example, you go to Rome. They've been conquered by so many people that what you see is not what you get. I think she's the character equivalent of Italy. You know, she's like Italy. It looks like one thing on surface, but she's got many, many layers of sfumatura underneath.
So going into the new season, was there any pressure for you guys to say, you know, how do we top that with what it was in the
pressure. You'd have to ask the writers that, because they topped it so. They went so over the top in beating in terms of writing really huge episodes, and the storylines are pretty manic to shoot with our time schedule and, you know, on the budget. They were really, really audacious, and I'm proud to say that the crew and everybody stepped up to the demands of the writers. You were going to ask something.
I was just piggybacking on what you said about how she's always shifting in alliances and everything. I was just curious, is that how she's lasted this long?
Yes, I think that's just like Italy. You gotta flex and bend and to survive. Yeah.
How much fun is it doing this sort of thing?
Very. Oh, Comic-Con? I'm so jaded but I just think it's normal. It's just a normal day at the office. But it's only when I'm with somebody who's never been that I see it through their eyes. But that doesn't happen very often with a bunch of other jaded people. No, it's lovely doing it with Dana and Ray because it's so exciting. They appreciate it freshly, you know.
What can you tell us about season 2? Can you tease anything for us? We've seen the pilot or the first.
More about the partnership with your character
Ruby,
and Ash.
Ruby spends a lot of time with both Pablo and Kelly, but separately. She has these developing relationships with those two who really don't trust or like her at all. But those relationships evolve and they affect Ruby. So the Ruby that you get at the beginning is not who she is at the end of season 2. She goes through a lot of changes.
So as you continue to explore the characters, anything you find you're surprised to learn about yourself?
About me, myself, Lucy? No, that kind of growth doesn't happen at work.
And your characters fight against demons. Which do you think are the demons of this society, and how would
So
fight?
say that question again, Donald?
Yes.
Which of the demons?
Yes. Which do you think are the demons of this society, and how you fight with this against this?
Me personally?
Yes.
I think fear is the root of all evil. There's a lot of fear going around at the moment, and I don't like how it's leading to a lot of fascist rhetoric. And I think that's a really horrible thing. I'm absolutely. I want to conduct my life counter to that, and be more inclusive, be more flexible, be sensitive without being, without being a blubbering crybaby, but be sensitive to the changes. And the only way to actually affect change is through community, a sort of bipartisan discussion, so that we work off commonalities and not just from the point of view of differences. That just doesn't work. So while I'm, that's it. That's the end of that conversation. Why would I draw too long?
How about the special effects and the blood? I know Bruce is historically an enemy to Caro syrup, but how do you deal with all these being covered in wonderful things?
Well, the technology now is so good. Like things don't taste like they used to. The carrot syrup was old school.
Right.
It's not. Actually, have I had blood in my mouth? It doesn't taste like it used to. Like it used to disgust you. It used to be like having treacle in your mouth, and eventually, especially if you're working out in the heat and the flies and the thing, you've got this dirty stuff and sweet, sickly stuff in your mouth. It becomes your disgust response. It's really honed to a very sharp point, but it's different now. Anyway, everything they use is beautifully crafted. In the old days, if they're throwing burning logs at you, they are throwing burning logs at you. Nowadays, we have big finds in a colliery, like an engine, a boiler room, so there's coal everywhere. On Xena, weed used to fall on actual coal. It hurt horribly. Nowadays, they have this stuff, it's like falling onto pillows. It looks like coal, it looks like igneous rock or something, and it's spongy, and I'm always like, so complimentary, so grateful to the art department for going to the trouble of not putting rocks, underneath our...
But now your reaction, though, has to be more acting rather than, oh, that rock hurt.
Well, you're still throwing yourself on the ground, so it's not hard. It's not
That's
hard.
true.
But it's so lovely not to be totally destroyed by the furniture, I guess.
Is there a younger generation of fans that recognize you as Ruby but don't know you as Xena or from Battlestar
Yeah. How do you describe the evil? And do you think it's exclusive for the demons?
Evil is exclusively for demons?
Do you believe?
Oh no, we've all got a little bit of it inside us. I'm not sure I really believe in. I mean, I haven't met anybody evil myself. I know other people have, or feel they have. But so maybe it is exclusively for demons. I don't know how to answer that question.
Can you talk a little bit about balancing the human side of the story with all the gore? Because I think it is a perfect balance.
Oh, good. I don't know if this quite addresses the question the way but my character's role in this is to keep the importance of the mission. So, to remind people about the ticking clock. It's a big part of it, and she becomes more and more human with her exposure to the others, and that means actually being affected by them. So she develops a bit of heart comes into it, and that. So Ash can have moments of heart, but he can't. He's got to come up with a smart-ass line pretty quick. He can't be all motherly and loving, but Ruby can. And it may in fact be one of her weapons.
Is the schedule on the show easier on you because with it being a half-hour show, and it keeps the pace certainly at a very, very breakneck pace, but is it easier show to make being a half hour instead of an hour?
No, this is much more technical than any of the others. Because how fast it's edited, you've got to have a lot of material in order to make that happen. So even though it's a half hour, we shoot as much as, in my opinion, as we ever did on Spartans for an hour. We've got 2 units running at all times. And because it's a half hour, 10 episodes, you have a shorter season. So you're still working from morning to night at the same pace. So by the schedule shoot, you're always up against it. You're just you've got to be on your at every. I will get you very much.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Ms. Lawless. Excuse me. Thank you for warming the seat for me, Ms. Lawless.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Did you do the panel already?
Yeah, we did the panel. You know what's funny is like we go from like energy at the panel, and then it's like And then after this, we go sign autographs, and it's very much.
It's very fun.
I'm a
You don't know how to
Gemini, so I
feel.
definitely feel like I'm on a Gemini roller coaster.
Well, I think Pablo is the heart of the show, and I think so many people connect to him on a human level. So, can you talk a little bit about bringing, like, kind of grounding it in this crazy world?
Yeah, I think with Sam originally, he and I talked about how Pablo is the heart and the eyes of the audience, sort of, and so in this crazy world, I try to stay as grounded as I can possibly stay, but I think that there's one thing that he and I both want, and that's to be a hero, and to change the perception that people have of him. And so I think also he's looking for a family, and I think that I kind of got my TV family in this gig in the best way possible. I got all these great relatives and people to work with, and so I think also on the show it was about having Ash care about other people, and so you get to see Ash in a way where he's sort of like a father figure. I think more so this season you really see how he cares about everybody else a little bit more, because he realizes that if he loses them, he's by himself. So in that respect, I think it helps ground the whole story. It's just because you care about the people around you. If you don't care about them, then why do you watch?
Michelle, as you join the cast in season 2, what is it like jumping into like an already established group of actors and a production schedule and all that is in such a crazy environment too?
Yeah.
Like it's not an easy thing.
I think the thing that's unique about this one, because I've done that before, jumped into shows, but this one is unique because of the genre. It's unlike any other genre I've ever worked with, and the group is solid. Everybody knows their beat, crossing their T's, and they're also incredibly welcoming. Ray was right there the first day of work and giving me advice and just being right there for me. And Bruce, Bruce Campbell. I could not be more giddy to work with Bruce Campbell, and it's like a free, comedic timing lesson that I would pay for, to just be there. I've never worked with an actor who has made me feel more brave to improv and to work on comedic timing and explore stuff than with Bruce Campbell. What I loved was the artistry of this show, the fact that it really has to do with the visuals, more so than any other show that I've actually been on. Our art department is amazing, outstanding. They work really long hours to make that blood, the gore, the vomit, all that stuff, body parts, guts, all that stuff so real. And it makes me giddy. I've become like a child on set. I'm literally like, it reminds me of why I became an actor in the first place. I said to someone else over there that the one thing I have to remind myself is to stop smiling so much when I'm on set, because I'm just like, what's doing? Oh my God, this is fantastic. Did I? It really has given me just butterflies. It's fabulous.
So what has it been like to watch the fan base grow with this? I mean, what kind of fan experiences have you had that stand out? Because I know that the conventions have just been nuts.
Well, the conventions are crazy, and I think that the one thing that I've sort of learned is the relationship that people have to, like, when they see a person on TV and then when they see them in person, and how they all want to buy me a drink and they all want to like treat me, and I'm like, well, I should be buying you the drink because you watch the show, so thank you. But I will say that what's cool is that what we're doing here, and it's all starting to click for me now after second season, but I realized that we are opening up the franchise to a whole other generation, and it's been around for 30 years, and what's cool is that I now get to be a part of the future of that, and hopefully it will last for another 30 years in whatever form it takes. And we're also diversifying the franchise by, having all of the new characters that we have on the show. And the fans seem to love that, because now more people can love The Evil Dead because it's accessible to them. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Were you guys fans of Evil Dead before the show, or had you?
I was total fan. I mean, I went, even though I'm only 20, I remember going to see I remember going to a movie theater with like a friend or whatever, and we like snuck in. And back in the day, we used to do double features. I don't know if y'all remember all that, but we like A once, and then we like, yo, let's sneak into the other ones. And I went to see some movie. I don't even know what it was. Hated it. We didn't like it. And we were like, this sucks. Let's go. And we like snuck out, and we're like, what is this? I don't know. Let's go in. So the movie had already started. I didn't know what the hell I was watching. I was like, what is this? Is this comedy? Is it blood? And then like that sequence of the hair. I mean, it floored me. It floored me, and I was just like, this is, and once again, like, that is an amazing actor to do that, to be able to hold us while this is an insane scene. So I literally, like, it absolutely made an impact on me. I love the whole show. I also love that kind of stuff. I'm literally the audience for this. I sit on the couch, I'm like, yeah, oh, whoa, I have audible responses even when I'm by myself. But when this came in through my, appointment book, I was, giddy. I was like, oh please, I would love to become part of this genre. Yeah, become part of this thing that's iconic, and the fact that these guys have all welcomed me in the way that they have is just,
Well, we are very lucky to have.
It's a love fest.
Ray, you go ahead.
What's it like filming the scenes when you're possessed? Practical
It's practical. It is a mask that is glued on my face every day when I go to work, and then I have to eat lunch like that because if it's going to require, it's just going to take more time to get it off, and then I'm like, it's fine, I'll just eat like that. So we all sit in the cafeteria looking pretty funky, but I get really into it. I was a really big horror fan as a kid, and I loved like the bad guys in horror. Like, I loved the monster and I loved the hero, and I wanted to be both. And I love that I get an opportunity to be both on this show. And I showed up for season 1, and I was like, I think I had like a voice for like the Necronomicon, and my voice, I lost my voice, but I wanted to do as much as possible to feel that way. And this season, I would run around the streets of Auckland at 4:30 a.m. with Requiem for a Dream in my ears and pretend like Ruby or the Necronomicon was like behind that bush. People think it's like I'm lying, but I was serious because we don't have the time to rehearse and to discover all those things. So I wanted to actually feel like these visions that Pablo's having are actually having, and it's having them. And the soundtrack for Requiem is disturbing, so it helped. So I just love every single dark step of the way.
And you went into season 1 knowing that you were going to get possessed?
I did not know that I was going to be possessed. I just thought I was going to be, his sidekick and running around. And I thought when they possessed Dane that maybe it would come around to me. I thought maybe I would I thought I'd maybe have a sex scene with a Deadite or something like that.
Why not?
Maybe,
next year.
Maybe this year you might have that. Who knows? But I never thought that I would become so cemented into a core figure of the franchise. And this season, there's no denying that Pablo and the Necronomicon have a connection. We definitely explore that hardcore this season.
Yeah, Pablo, you guys are going to have quite a journey with Pablo this year. It's really in this one. He did not quit. Unbelievable.
Ray, how are you with the blood? Because they don't waste any time covering you in anything.
You know what's so funny is everybody always asks, were you a fan of the franchise, and how are you with the blood? How are you with the blood? And I don't know if it's just that I've become so desensitized, but I'm like, I'm good, man. It comes with the gig. Like, if you were, working with Sarah Paulson, you would have to cry. You know what I mean? If you're on Ash Evil Dead, you're going to be covered in blood. Right. So, just, you know what I mean? It comes with the territory. I love it. I mean, do I love... It does get really sticky, and there was in episode 1, Rick, the director, tried to waterboard me with blood when that was on top of me, and I called her a fucking skank, and that was improv because I was like, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't see, so you learn to make it work and embrace it because the blood is a character on the show and it's our friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Lucy says it tastes much better now than it did 20 years ago.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
Well, I got call to say would I be interested, and would like to do it, and I said, well, let me look at the first. I wasn't really aware of the show, nor the movies. I said later to Bruce, I said, oh yeah, I remember those movies, yeah. I had no recollection of what the hell they were. But I said, let me look at the first couple of shows, which I started looking at, and then I went through the whole 10 at one sitting, and I said, this is that shit crazy. You got to be a part of it. It is so funny, and I think that's what draws most of the fans to this show. I wouldn't have done it if it was just a strictly horror show and without the comedy. And I think the fans tune in to see some tune in for the gore, some tune in for the comedy. So you got a best of both worlds. So that's the reason I tuned in, is for the comedy.
I think fans are fascinated with this casting too, and it's just really, really great, your chemistry. So how did you work on that relationship, you and Bruce? Like, just
Bruce?
You're so good, yeah.
Well, having watched the first season, I knew where to go with that, because he's got to be a chip off the old block. So I just came in as the old block. I came in with the same kind of attitude he had, more or less, and the same competition with the ladies that he has, and it's worked from there. So.
This is a very different television show from most of your
of
your previous work.
Yeah, most of my shows are family fare.
Yeah.
That you could sit down with grandma and grandpa and father and dad, and mother and kids, and enjoy the show. So, but this one it can only be on Stars, that's for sure. Because, and you've seen episode 201, the first one this season. Did you see the second one of the season?
Saw this one.
You saw it? See show 2, the second show of this season.
Yeah, they showed it at the panel. Yeah.
I just saw the first one of this season.
What? Nobody else seen this?
No.
I'll tell you what. There's a scene in there that will never be duplicated. Has never been shot before. In my 53 years in the business, I've never seen anything like it. And I said to Bruce, you got some guts. I don't think that I could even contemplate trying to shoot that scene. I mean, you'll know it's a holy shit moment. You'll be watching it, and you don't want to watch it, but you'll keep watching it, and you don't want to watch it. I mean, and you can't describe it really. You have to see it to believe it. So anyway, look for that one.
So, how refreshing is it to you as an actor to be able to, explore a lot of that and take, because obviously Stars can take a lot of those risks that other networks can.
It's true. Back in my day, you couldn't even, and say in Big Valley, if you got shot, you have a bullet hole wound, but maybe a trickle of blood down the fingers, and that's it. Sometimes they'd come in, that's too much blood. Wipe some of that off. You couldn't have it, maybe more than 2-3 drops of blood. And Lord knows, throughout the last, up until now, I've never seen so many F-bombs being dropped in a show. And that little Dana, what a foul mouth. I mean, especially in these first 2 or 3 shows, she's dropping them all the time. I mean, but she's funny. It's funny. So, it surprised me that I'd be doing a show like this. If you'd asked me, a couple of years ago, I don't know. It doesn't sound good to me. But I just think it's so funny that, Stars, that's right. Stars is the only network that would do it. In fact, they said the trailer was so bad they didn't want to show it. They didn't show it at Santiago Comic-Con. They didn't show the trailer.
So have you found there's anything that you're surprised to learn about yourself now as you delve into this?
That I'm still here. I'm still working. 2 years ago, I was 75. 75. Last year I was 76. This year I can't turn my numbers around anymore, so I'm stuck. We're 77. So I'm still working. I think that pleases me to be able to still be working at this age. And I remember my friend Ernie Borgnine, who passed away at 93 after having just finished the film. That's the way to go out, you know. So just to continue working and having fun.
In the first episode you did, there's a reference to Bruce's bionic hand.
Yes,
How do you
I
feel?
didn't write it. I didn't, but I was surprised that they would throw it in. But not, I was surprised and not surprised because they're taking advantage of that situation, which was very funny. I mean, since he has that bionic arm, a hand, more or less. But I was surprised they put it in. It was written. I didn't put it in, and when I read it, I got a chuckle out of it. It looked like a piece of shit made in China.
What can you tell us about the physical challenges of this? Are we going to see your character really kicking some butt throughout the
No,
season?
you won't see me doing much physical stuff anymore. That's another thing. I read a script. All right, not much, no physical stuff. Location is pretty good. New Zealand, kind of comedy. Okay, I'm in. You know. No, there's not much. He does throw me around a little bit in episode 3. Well, actually, no. Maybe 10. Episode 10. I don't know. I don't know where I go. Can't tell you.
Do you ever tire of these kind of conventions? Do you ever tire of these kind of conventions?
No, because I haven't done too many of them. I enjoy seeing you people and chatting and realizing now how strong some of those shows really were as far as the fan base of them. You know, it's very gratifying to see that somebody enjoyed your work and still being able to do it. So I'm happy that Stars came to me with that, and it's been a lot of fun.
Are you a fan of the horror genre?
Well, my first horror movie was in 1963. It's black and white, directed by William Castle, who was the poor man's Alfred Hitchcock. And it was called Straight Jacket. You can look it up. I had no credit, but in my little town in Kentucky in the mountains, they came down all the hollows to see this movie because on the marquee it said starring Lee Majors in Straight Jacket, also with Joan Crawford. And then she chops my head off with an axe before the credits come on. I'm out of the movie, and now the credits come on. And all those poor people, I'm glad I wasn't there. I paid the money to go see it. I probably paid about 30 cents back then. But I went to see it. I hope they got their money back. But my head did show up later in a bed. And the only horror of that was, just think about it, being married to Joan Crawford. Whew. That was a horrible thought.
Do you have a lot of your, every actor, I think a lot of people, especially in genre work, they want to get an action figure of themselves or a toy of themselves. I mean, you've had so many great pieces and some incredibly valuable pieces of merchandise made after you.
Boy, do I see them too.
Do you have any of those?
No, my wife has picked some things up off eBay because we don't have them. I mean, they put so much stuff out I didn't even know they put out. I mean, I knew they did the action figure. And then people come though and they say, "Will you sign this doll for me?" I said, "Look, it's not a doll; it's an action figure." And the lunch boxes from 2 series at least. It's amazing. Except the action figure started out about that big. And each year, I've noticed on Comic-Con they've been getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I mean, Universal's milking it, man. And I don't get any money from that crap either. And you see all this stuff with the ring to the sign, and you know it's going right on eBay. But,
No, not all of it. Some fans keep the stuff.
Some of it, yeah. Well, if they personalize it, if they don't, no personalize it. Just sign it. I say, sure. That comic book's going right on eBay.
Would you like to do a couple of seasons of this, or do you think this is just it's got a...
I'm just a guest riding along a little bit here. I can't tell you how long I even last this season. And I'd be happy to go back because I didn't get to do a lot in New Zealand this time. But I was there once before. 28 years ago, I did a Toyota commercial there for the country. And that's the only time I was ever there. It still got more sheep than people.
Did you have fun?
I had a very nice. My wife had a great time. I was working, and she was touring around with Bruce Campbell's wife because they're right on the water, and they have these little ferries that will take you to different islands, and it was a lot of fun for them.
Is it strange to you that they're shooting Michigan for New Zealand for Michigan?
Yeah,
or they
it
were
is.
able to recreate it.
And you know, it's interesting. All of those, like Bruce and the Raimis, are all from Michigan. A whole bunch of them are Michigan. And I was born in Michigan, believe it or not. I wasn't raised there, but I was born there. I lost my folks early, so I was adopted down into Kentucky in the mountains. I went from there to coal mining and moonshining area. So, but it's interesting that they, and Lucy's married to Rob, the producer, who's also from Michigan, and they all knew each other back then. So it's kind of like a team here. Maybe they picked me because I was born in Michigan. I don't know.
How has the production experience changed for
You
you
know,
on a show like this versus $6 million?
It's all still the same. I was surprised at the production values they get down there in New Zealand with the crew, and they got great crews down there, and the lighting and everything on the show is just top notch. It's really very good. I was very impressed with that.
The rest of the cast gets turned into zombies and heavy makeup. Would you let them do an episode where you get covered in zombie makeup?
I got covered in blood, so it doesn't really matter now. I mean, I got my first blood splatter when he was sawing somebody. I got splattered. They didn't warn me. It just came. It went up my nose and in my eyes and everything else. Now I know to close my eyes if I can before it happens.
Thank you
Lee.
so much.
Thank you, guys.
It was great talking to you.
You bet.
Hello everyone, how are you?